Hey guys, welcome back to another Only the Strong Education series. The topic of today is overtraining really even a thing? And overtraining, this concept, this practice, this thing we've talked about, something that's used constantly. You hear this hot button topic. It's misused. It's overused. You hear it all the time. What is overtraining? Does it exist? My friends and my family will tell me all the time. They'll see videos and pictures and oh, be careful. Don't train too hard. That looks so heavy. Working out too much. You're gonna get a hernia. Like I'm gonna get a hernia from curling a dumbbell. But that's a whole nother thing. We'll tackle that another day. That being said, let me ask you this: is overtraining really a thing? I think from the perspective of reality, I'm going to say that it's a yes and a no. Yes, because from a definitional standpoint, from a stimulus standpoint, from a poor programming standpoint, it absolutely is a thing. It exists, it's real, it's relevant. If you do anything for too long, it's going to get you, or too often, or improperly, it will get you eventually. But for the purposes of this education series, I'm going to argue no. And the reason why I'm going to argue no is really simple. Let's start it off this way. Roughly, probably 80% of the world will never, ever be in a structured fitness programming environment. So what does this mean? This doesn't mean you have to be in a gym. You could be doing parkour, jumping off of walls and tables and chairs. You could be in an elite skateboarding camp. It doesn't matter. 80% of the world will never experience that. Let me ask you this. How are you going to overtrain if you never work out? Doesn't work. Right? We throw out these terms and these concepts sometimes, and I feel like it's almost fear-mongering. We're trying to scare people into not doing something, or scare them into doing something for the sake of our own good. I used to work at a facility where they had a saying there. They would say that 90% of the people pay for the 10% that go. Is that crazy? 90% of the people pay for the 10% that go. So if we're looking at 10 people, that means that one person is going to the fitness facility and actually working out, and 9 people are not. How are those 9 people going to overtrain if they don't even go into the facility? What, are they going to pull a hamstring paying for their membership? Of course not. It doesn't make any sense. So before we think about throwing the concept of overtraining and blanket concepting everything when we're talking about fitness, I'm going to say that more prevalent in overtraining is a lack of common sense. And when I talk about common sense, you're going to see kind of what I'm getting at here. Too often do I see new trainers, or trainers in general, bring in people who are brand new off the street and they're excited to get into health and wellness. And this trainer is trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to be the elite trainer. They're trying to be the television, celebrity trainer. And so when they bring this person in, they give them the biggest, baddest workout they can imagine. They have them sweating, jumping, flipping, burpees, jump squats, dynamic this, sprint this, all of this stuff. So when that person leaves, that person says, wow, oh my God, geez, man, Larry, you gave me the best workout ever. What happens to that person the next day? They wake up in the morning, what do? They go to get up, and what happens? They can only raise their head because the rest of their body feels like it's severed from the neck down. Why is this a problem? Because that's the concept of overtraining. When you lose common sense with what the goal is. Somebody just walking into a facility is going to have no clue how to be able to engage with or deal with any sort of stimulus. So if we get to a place where we continually jab them and jab them and jab them and ram it down their throat more and more stimulus, how exactly do you think that they're going to survive? They're not. So they're going to feel like they're in an overtrained state. They're going to feel like, my God, I don't know what I just saw a television show recently where a girl sued a trainer because she felt sore. That is crazy. It's outrageous, but this is the world that we're living in, where people feel a stimulus from what they're doing and it scares them to death and they don't know what to do with it. Does overtraining exist? Yes, it's called lack of common sense. It's called poor professionals. If you want to avoid overtraining, you need to go to somebody who's reputable with what they do. Not someone that looks good, not someone that has the rock solid abs, not someone that has the tight butt. Because the reality is their work ethic is probably higher than your work ethic, which is why they look like that to begin with in the first place. We're just being honest. Go to somebody who's reputable and has worked with people who are in a similar background as yourself. That's how you avoid overtraining, is you use common sense. If you start with foundational basics and build your way up from there, you will notice that you will start to build an endurance that will span further and further and longer, and you'll get to a place where you can test yourself with almost anything and you won't feel destroyed after your workouts. Now, when we're talking about elite athletes, high-level athletes, people who are training for a competition, that's a completely different topic. I'm talking about everyday people just wanting to get it started. Overtraining is a thing. It exists. It is there. It is in your face, but you do not have to make it relevant if it is not necessary. Get rid of the concept of overtraining by getting rid of the concept of the lack of basic education. If you can get rid of both of those things, you're going to have a great time getting started with your health and wellness. Once again, it's been another Only the Strong Education series. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Have a great week.